Hey folks, this is Jake at Canadian Cutting Edge again. This is a new knife that I have from a company that I've not had any knives from before. This is the Stedemon ZKC. The exact model name is the ZKC, and then there's a space, C-03, Stedemon design, made at the Zahn factory. And what we've got is a nice jade G10, blue G10 highlights and thumb pad. And they're calling this a smoky finish, smoky wash instead of a black wash. It's a nice gray wash. It doesn't have the markings like a stone wash does. It's just a nice gray wash with all of the lines where the shape changes are being sort of accented. Watch this. Just a little bit on the wrist and the knife opens up. That's because the pivot is super smooth. We've got ceramic bearings inside here, and just opens up like that, and it closes like that. Very smooth, easy to deploy with either hand. It's a little harder to get at the thumb stud with your left hand because you don't have a nice cutout like this. You've just got a very minor cutout. But, you know, because it's so smooth, I can still get it to deploy relatively easily with my left hand. And if you're left-handed, you'll get used to it pretty quick. See what I mean? So this knife is for just about anybody, but I do have to say the pocket clip is right side, tip up only. I'm giving too much away. If you want to watch the rest of this video and find out where you can get it, this is the lowest price Stedemon knife available, and I think you want one. So stick around for the full review and all the details. This knife is actually the budget version of an identically shaped and size and everything knife, except for this guy. It's got 440C steel, so it's the budget version. You can also get this knife with S35 VN steel for right around twice the, well, more than twice the price. The normal price for this knife is around $80. I got it for $57. It's still $57 as I'm recording this. I just hope it's $57 when I release this video so that you can get one if you are so inclined, because I am loving this knife an awful lot. It's a great little knife. Let's try something here. Is it going to look better if I do this? Does that look better? I think that looks better, doesn't it? Yeah, that looks better. Let's do it that way today. So I already told you, 440C steel. It's the, you can see the label on it right there. There you go. You can see the label right there. ZKC space C-03 Stedemon design. It says 440C right there. And you've got the Stedemon logo right there. We've got this blue accent piece. That's the thumb disc. And then the backspacer. It's really an open design, but it's an open backspacer design, for lack of a better word, because the backspacer is just this small thing at the back. You've got a tunnel through there for your lanyard, so it's easy to get your paracord through there. All Torx construction. G10 on the handle scale. As I said, you've got ceramic bearings here. This is the KVT ceramic bearing system. Oversized pivot screws, Torx everywhere. Liner lock. You've got a liner on the business side. There's no liner at all on the show side. And G10 is a good enough product. It does not require a liner. I'll take this apart and I'm going to show you the inside so you can see exactly what those bearings and everything look like. I'll put a still picture of that in right now. What do you think of that? Isn't that cool or what? For $57, that is cool. And there are places that'll ship this to Canada, and you can get it from Amazon even. I think Chicago Knife Works has a store on Amazon. They will ship from Amazon.com to Canada from Chicago Knife Works. So you can check out their store. I didn't find anybody on Amazon.ca that has it, so that's the only choice for you Canadians. If this gets stopped by CBSA and inspected, that's easily going to fail their centrifugal knife test. It's not going to pass that test. I got mine from the US. It never got inspected. Knives from the US very rarely get inspected. It's almost always packages that come from China that get the inspection, and then they fail that inspection. So this guy is pretty good to go. I think you're going to be able to get it to Canada. Of course, there is that risk. You Americans, no problem getting this knife. Let's talk about the specs on this knife. We've got a cutting edge right here, 10.1 centimeters, 3.96 inches, and I measured it diagonally from this sharpener's choil to the tip of the blade. And so that means that distance isn't actually the full linear distance. That's even further. 4-inch blade is basically what we're talking about here. The thickness of this blade, and I measured it just in front of this thumb riser here, the thumb stud, I should say. No, thumb disc, not a disc, the thumb pad. I measured it just in front of the thumb pad right there. We're talking 3.7 millimeters, 0.14 inches. The thickness of the edge behind the grind, so right where it starts turning that smoky black, 0.65 millimeters. It's a little bit thicker than I'd like to have, but not much. On a 4-inch knife, 0.6 is great. That's 0.025 inches. Your handle length here, my handle length actually, unless you're going to get one, 12.5 centimeters, 4.92 inches. So 4-inch blade, 5-inch handle. That's the rough measurements. The grip area, and I measured, from this corner to this corner here, because you can grip it up at the front like this if you'd like to. Your middle finger would go in that choil in that case, and that's a comfortable way to hold it. Or you can hold it this way, or you can hold it this way. There's 501 different ways to hold this knife. The grip area is 12 centimeters, which is 4 3/4 inches, 4.75. The handle thickness, not including the pocket clip, is 1.45 centimeters. That's 0.57 inches. So basically you got a 1/2 inch thick handle that is got 5 inches, 4 3/4 inches of grip. I think anybody's hand is going to find a place to get comfortable on this. Somebody with small hands, it's going to feel a little bit extra big, but I mean, guys with extra large hands, you're going to fit on this, because I'm going to hold it right at the end there. So you can see where I'm holding it. And you got that much left over. My hands are large, right on the borderline to extra large, between 9 and 10 in the European glove measurement system. That is big. The total length of this knife when it's open, 21.8 centimeters, 8.58 inches. It weighs 126 grams, which is 4.4 ounces. Not bad. I like this knife an awful lot because I used it an awful lot. I forgot to do any recording before I did some playing with this. I even grabbed onto it yesterday when my wife was doing some gardening, and I stood beside her at the hedges talking with her, and I started whacking at the hedges, cutting off the overgrowth, the stuff that's coming too far. Instead of using a hedge trimmer, I was using this thing, and pieces were flying all over the place, and it was so easy. Fit and finish on this guy, excellent. If you don't like this blue accent, I'm sorry. They all come with the blue accent, but you can get this thing in 5 different colors. They call this jade. You can also get the G10 in a black or a coyote, tan kind of color. Get it in a nice orange or a zombie green. And then you can get all of those same G10 colors with a satin blade. So you've got 10 different choices to make to buy this thing at $57 a choice. There you go. If you want its big brother, it's $150, $149 on Amazon.com. That's with S35VN steel. All the same. Actually, they've got different color choices, actually, to make with the higher priced version. So there you go. I'll put a link for that as well. So some of the unique things, they've got a G10 thumb pad. That's unusual. I haven't seen that very often. Actually, that's my first knife that has that. It's got a back spacer that's also open construction. You don't see that very often. Easy to clean this guy out. The nested liners help make it very easy as well. It looks really sharp, looks really clean. They're calling this tip here, this blade style, it's called the Japanese drop. It's a modified tanto. So the front tanto edge here is got a belly on it. And then you've got a very slight belly on the rest of the section here. And it's a straight back here with a swedge on it. Let's get it a little bit closer for you guys. So you got a bit of a swedge on it up there. Really good looking knife. And they make it come out quite sharp from the factory. And it's 440C, which I call, in the upper end of budget steels. Budget steels are good. 440C is on the upper half of budget steels. And I like it. Some of the Sandvik steels like 12C27 is what I still call a budget steel. But Sandvik's 14C28N I call a mid-grade steel. So you can sort of see where I'm coming from with what I'm calling what. You don't have to disagree with me. Just sort of know where I'm coming from so that you can understand what I'm trying to communicate. 440C, the way Ganzo was doing it was so good that I fell in love with 440C again. I've had some knives from some manufacturers where 440C was crud, but Ganzo's heat treat must have been spot on. And, the Zahn factory that's making the Stedemon knife, their heat treat is spot on too, because this thing's keeping an edge for a long time, but it's not chipping or rolling or cracking or anything. Very, very good. I already mentioned that it comes in several colors. Big pro is the ceramic bearings, the CVT ceramic bearings. Great. You've got some nice jimping. It's not a thumb riser, but this thumb area here, there's jimping in the G10 and a little bit on the blade right there. All Torx construction everywhere, so you've got no proprietary stuff going on. Easy to maintain, easy to clean up, easy to use. This is a knife that you want. If you've got a budget collection, this could be one of your premium knives. Because for me, I define budget as anything under $100 US. This thing's only halfway up that scale. Well, a little over half at $57 US. So this is a really good knife. My average knife is below $25 US. That's my average. That's my run-of-the-mill normal knife for my collection. So when I can get a really nice knife at this price point, I jump at it. And, I pinch my coins and I make it work. I'd love to get one of every color of this thing, to be honest with you, but 10 of them, that's $570 US, plus, some taxes and duties and stuff maybe. But a minimum of $570 US, I just can't afford that. Not a chance. But I'd sure like to. I found another Stedemon knife today as I was looking around, and it's running for like $67. It's a different kind of shape and stuff. I'll show you a picture of it right here. And, I'm tempted to get that, but I can't afford it right now because I'm helping out my mother. That brings me to another point, a bit of news. Sorry to interrupt this. And now to interrupt this scheduled program, we've got some breaking news. I know I'm trying to throw some humor in there, and that's actually because I'm quite stressed out about this. I'm visiting my mother this summer. I'm probably there right now. I'm not sure when I'm going to make this video show. I'm visiting my mother between the middle of July through most of August. She lives in southern Ontario. That's about over 2,000 miles away. She's got terminal cancer. And so I'm visiting her, and that's why you're only seeing 2 or 3 videos a week. And that's why you're also seeing that I'm not always commenting or responding to comments. Sorry about that, guys. That's just the way it's going to be. Back in September, we're going to have everything running full speed again. At least that's my plan. So what do you think of this knife? Have you seen these around? Have you been tempted to buy one? If you've been tempted to buy one and you've got it on one of your carts and you just would like to get it, but you just aren't sure if you're going to, bite the bullet and get it, I suggest that you get this knife. This is a very nice knife. It's suitable for almost anybody's hand, and it looks really good. You can have satin or this smoky wash. Really good choice. The pocket clip does sit a little bit high in your pocket. It fits really well in the pocket. It holds really well, but you've got an inch of knife sticking out. Not that I mind it too much, because I really don't need to hide my knives where I live. Not everybody, a lot of people carry knives around here. It's sort of a normal thing in central Alberta. In the rural areas, people carry knives, no problem at all. And so I don't mind it that much. Let's do some cut tests, even though I've done a fair bit of cutting with this. I've not done any stropping. I've not done anything else. I've used this knife a fair bit, and yet it can still do this. You can hear it's got a little bit of hesitation in some spots. And like I said, that's because I've used this guy for about a little over 2.5 weeks already, and I've used it a fair bit. Let's do some more cut tests. Got some paracord here. What do we got? We got 4 layers of paracord there. Zips right through them all, no problem. Put a couple of them down here. And you can just do the slide cutting, slide it through. That works really well. And then you can use the tip of the round belly area on that tanto and cut through that way. Cuts really well. We've got this 1-inch banding. It's like molly banding on steroids. Just zips through that, no problem. And we can cut through that, no problem. I can use the belly kind of space area of the knife to cut through it. And there you go, it's cut through. Oh, I missed it right at the very beginning a tiny bit. Not bad. This knife is a knife that if you're looking for a new knife and you want a knife that's going to work and do hard work for you, this is comfortable in the hand, no hot spots, looks good. People are going to ask you about it. Like, that's a nice big knife compared to other stuff, and it'll get your job done. If you are in a place where you can only pull out something like this, maybe not something that looks so aggressive, yeah, you do that. But otherwise, take out your big knife and enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for liking, for subscribing to my channel, for commenting, even though I might not be able to comment back really quick right now. Most of all, thank you for sharing this video with your friends. And remember, always cut towards your chum. That's your friend, your buddy, your pal, and not your thumb.